The Tape Microsound Music Machine. We just released it, and already a lot of people are asking, what am I going to put in that last 10 HP? And to be honest, especially if this is your first modular system, I'd say don't put anything in it. Take it home, make some music with it, feel it out, see what it can do for you. You're going to eventually get to a point where you want to patch something and you can't do it. And that's going to guide your decision better than anything I can tell you about what to put in that extra space. However, when you do get to that point, we do have some suggestions. A lot of people have said that the XPan would probably be a good idea. And I can see why people think that. It's a stereo-oriented module, and this is a system with a lot of stereo-oriented modules in it. And especially if you're going to be recording mono sound sources into the Morphogene, the XPan could be really useful for kind of animating them in the stereo field for processing with the QPAS and the Mimeophone. But on the other hand, the XPan is mostly for use with modular level mono sources and kind of bridging the gap between mono and stereo within the system. And since there are no mono sound sources in this system, such as oscillators and things, the XPan might not be quite as useful as it seems on the surface. I would actually say that perhaps the more universally useful choice for that 10 HP would be the TEMPI. And there's a couple reasons why. First of all, every single module in this, the Wogglebug, Maths, Morphogene, QPAS, Mimeophone, they all have gate inputs. And of course, the TEMPI has 6 clock gate outputs. In addition, you do not have to just use the TEMPI to gate inputs, but you can also use it, as shown in our TEMPI Science video series, to kind of toggle between multiple values of a continuous CV input, and that can be really useful too. So you have a lot of ways to sort of create sub-rhythms with the TEMPI in whatever else is going on in the Tape Microsound Music Machine. Let's go ahead and dive in and take a look at one way we might use it. Here's a simple patch in which a gene from the Morphogene is sculpted by QPAS and repeated and colored by Mimeophone. Although I find this enjoyable timbrally, it's fairly static. I'm clocking the TEMPI and Mimeophone with the EOSG trigger output so that everything is timed to this short loop that is playing in the Morphogene. Let's consider patching one clock to a QPAS radiate input, while another clock goes to the other radiate input. Or switching between our choice of 2 zones at our choice of speed. We'll periodically flip the Mimeophone's repeats or hit the QPAS's input. Finally, let's use the Wogglebug via a Maths attenuator to randomly select the length of the events that will be processed by this sculpting chain. Let these subtle sub-rhythms evolve through multiple permutations by using the TEMPI's mod input to shift the different TEMPI around the channel outputs. the several dimensional field of tape and microsound machinery found here, there are many gate inputs that are ripe for modulation, using the temporal lattice that emerges from the TEMPI.